Homes located in Old Cutler South and Hillary Estates, Old Cutler Pines, and Pine Bay Estates will be visited today on our home video tours. Hi, Mike Schuler, Realtor, inviting you to join us. These are some of my favorite neighborhoods in the Old Cutler area, with gorgeous wooded hammock areas, and of course, Old Cutler homes themselves will be visited also. In addition, we'll take a look at some of the schools and churches in the area, specifically Southwood Middle School and the Catholic Church Holy Rosary St. Richard's. Southwood Middle School for the arts, considered a magnet school and the recipient of prestigious Blue Ribbon Awards throughout the years. Southwood contains 5 magnet programs. Music, which contains the orchestra, band, and chorus strands, photography, theater, art, and dance. Holy Rosary St. Richard's is the recent combination of Holy Rosary from Cutler Bay with a 50-year history in the Archdiocese of Miami and the existing St. Richard's in Palmetto Bay. I'll have more details on the road, so please join us today. We just turned on Southwest 163 Street from 87th Avenue. These are mainly Southwood homes, as you might expect, as we approach Southwood Middle School for the arts. I'll talk about that in a minute, but in the meantime, basically have Southwood homes intermixed with Old Cutler South, which we'll visit next. Southwood, right here, we're going to get to school as best we can. Magnet program, as I mentioned in the introduction. One of the things I did not say, though, is that Southwood is considered one of the best performing and visual arts magnet for middle schools in all of South Florida and in the nation. So quite a reputation, Southwood Middle School. I forgot to mention, sorry Kristen, I forgot to tell them about your first place finish for the #1 watercolor original art as an 8th grader here this year. Out of 1,000 submissions, Kristen, my granddaughter, student here, won first place out of 1,000 entries, Miami-Dade Best Watercolor. You'll be able to see that on my site, callmike.com. We're just a few blocks north of Southwood Middle School. And again, some of my favorite neighborhoods in here are just covered with the oak, hammock, mahoganies. This is a cul-de-sac just 2 blocks north of Southwood. And I think you can see what I call the ambiance of living among the trees in the hammocks. Coon Road, also known as Southwest 79th Avenue. I'm having Jacob get in 2 of my favorite homes. My daughter-in-law started to buy this one here on the left. And we have a couple coming up here that I've been inside before. I want to describe it a little bit. If we can get a picture through all the trees here. This is a historical home from the turn of the century, if you can get that a little bit. That's been modified, but really gorgeous inside. This one here, as we pass by, I think you can see that it's more of the original architecture and on a full acre lot. I've been to parties in the backyard, which is a nice gazebo setting. So a lot of history here on Coon Road. All right, we're at the east end of Southwood, and you're seeing some of the custom-built homes that are a part of Old Cutler South, and we're going to go where it meets Hillary Estates also. I've sold homes on the next street over here from that backed up to the canal that you will see here in a moment. Not as many trees here, but the homes are more modern and very popular with the buyers, looking in the price range of a minimum $500,000 and up. As we head east on Richmond Drive, Southwest 168th Street, turning left, Palmetto Road, which is 77th Avenue, we'll be seeing in a few minutes on the other side, which is part of the Palmetto Road section. But for now, we're basically in the Old Cutler South District, where it's going to meet Hillary Estates up here a little bit farther north. This house on the right with the blue tile roof, should be my next listing. So we'll try to get a little bit of that into the film here as we pull up into the driveway. and this will be listed. This is a little on the smaller side. It looks nice and big from the outside, but it's less than 2,000 square feet. Asking price will be almost $500,000, $499. So beautiful pool, fountain in the back, and completely renovated throughout. Extremely nice home and a very gorgeous, lushly landscaped corner lot. Mike Schuler's next listing. And Old Cutler South homes as they meet up with Hillary Estates. We're just 2 blocks in from the west on Old Cutler. And again, these price ranges, the one I just mentioned is a low end of $500,000. So a lot of these are going to be in the $750,000 range and more, depending on the size. We're going to head back to Old Cutler in a second, and we'll meet up then at Old Cutler Road. Old Cutler Pines coming up next, and a lot of cul-de-sacs in this area right before we get to Old Cutler Road. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that Old Cutler is a historic road. It can never be widened from the 2 lanes that it is. And originally it was the trail that the Indians would use to come up from the Everglades and from the Upper Keys. And as you can see, my favorite part, the hammocks, the trees. I'm partial to the trees and the water. Pine Bay Estates. We're just going to go in and take a quick look here. This is a pretty small development of 60 or 70 homes, if I remember correctly. It's bordered on the west side by the church we're going to visit, which is, I'm a parishioner there, so I can tell you a little bit more. But this is Pine Bay Estates, and next on our stop is Holy Rosary St. Richard's Catholic Church. One of my favorite churches, if not the most favorite, because it is my church that I'm a parishioner. And I mentioned previously that Holy Rosary from Cutler Bay has merged with St. Richard's here in Palmetto Bay. So the new title is Our Lady of the Holy Rosary, St. Richard's. So a long title, and an excellent church. We'll get a little bit more of the, these are the main 2 entrances here. And I want to go to the back and look at some of the landscaping that my buddy Phil has been involved with. But basically, this is the church itself. In a moment, we'll see the parish center and the youth center and things like that. But basically, a good, solid history. And our co-pastors right now, Father Sonny and Father Alberto, Trinitarian priests. And we appreciate their efforts in pastoring our church. St. Richard Parish Center. It's also a backup chapel. And we've had services there on a overflow Christmas Eve. The gated community of Coral Cay. I've been in there only once before, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And a very small, well manicured entranceway, and a relatively small amount of houses, less than 50 here in Coral Cay.